Alright, good evening everyone. Welcome back to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Cup Series All-Star Race here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. So drivers putting down their qualifying laps to start the grid for tonight's event. So you're going to be, again, some prize money for the drivers here tonight. So pole sitter's going to $5 their way. Race winner will have $30, $20 for second, $10 for third. Say again, 100 laps is the distance. I believe they have 4 sets of tires in the pits, so it's going to be very intriguing to see what these drivers have in store for them tonight. Still got a few minutes left in qualifying here. A couple drivers making their laps right now, trying to see where they're going to get scored here for that qualifying order, and then we will get things underway in just a minute, about a minute, 2 minutes, somewhere in that range, and we'll get things started off. Alright, looks like drivers just finished up the qualifying session, so let's go ahead and we'll get set up here with our starting grid for tonight's event. So on pole position for tonight's race is going to be the 17 of Chad Wilkes. He's able to beat Larry Yingling by 0.03 of a second between the two of them. He's only about 400ths back. There's the 50 of Josh Schofner, then you got Ryan Kelly in 4th, Andrew Pleshy 5th, David Payton 6th, James Ledford in 7th, and Robbie Richards will be in the 8th positions. And then 9th through 14th here, we've got Kevin Hash, Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Merkel, Raymond Rittenauer, Kyle Hess, and Michael Spell. So it's going to be a short grid here tonight. However, I think that's going to be great news for the drivers. That's just going to open up more opportunities for these drivers that are in the field here tonight to get a chance to pocket a little bit of money their way tonight. So again, 100 laps is the race distance, 1 faster pair for the drivers, and of course the 3 attempts of a green-white checkered finish. So it's going to be fun to see what these guys have in store for us. See a handful of drivers having some fun paint schemes tonight. Everybody throwing things a little bit different. You can see right there the 17 in Chad Wilkes. He's got the DuPont Chevrolet paint scheme. Purists might be mad at him for having that on the number 17, but still a really good looking paint scheme for him. Andrew Pleshy as well in that number 82 car. So hopefully we'll get some better looks at this later on in the run. But he's got a kind of a more of a lighter scheme now for the Amp Energy car, so a good looking one for him as well. And Maxwell Caldwell throwing it back to Bill Elliott in that number 94 with the I'm trying to remember the one that was, I think it was the Big Mac Tonight, if I'm not mistaken, paint scheme on that 94 machine. So some pretty cool cars out here tonight. It's a couple special paint schemes, some throwbacks for running here at North Wilkesboro tonight. So with that, so you can see pace truck, I should say, has got the cars. Are going to head around here. I believe it's going to be 2 laps of pace, under pace, and then we'll get things underway. So yeah, like I said, if this goes green, I mean, these guys are going to be start putting out some laps pretty quickly. Say sub 20-second lap times here. But I say this is obviously a very difficult track to navigate here. But just the way it's built, I mean, it's a really fun track with the banking the way it is. As it is a tough track to pass. You can kind of get pinned on the inside of somebody. Sometimes the top line is the better way to go. So it just really depends on how your car's feeling. What line you can make work the best for you. So it'll be fun to see what these drivers find and what's their best line. But I feel like the middle of the turns is going to be where you're going to see a good chunk of these drivers win their single file. Alright, so we're going to see the pace truck head in here in just a moment. That's going to hand it over to Chad Wilkes on the inside row, Larry Yingling on the outside, and we'll get things underway again. 100 laps tonight here at North Wilkesboro. Green flag is out, and we are underway. So Chad's going to be careful. We know how quick Larry is on these starts, and he's able to usually use the outside to his advantage, and he's going to do so again here. So Larry Yingling's going to take, I shouldn't say too soon, it looks like he's going to take lap number 1. He will. So I think Chad Wilkes is going to definitely keep the pressure on him here as they start lap number 2. So say with this car with the high horsepower, low downforce package, these drivers are going to be very gentle on the throttle. It's going to be very easy to kind of get the right rear tire overheated and also just get too aggressive on the throttle and just loop that car around. So I think some of these drivers are going to have to definitely keep an eye on tonight to make sure that they don't abuse those tires too much right off the bat. But say right now everybody's doing it. I think right now doing a really good job, just kind of settling in here. So we'll see a few cars making some moves. Maxwell Caldwell, one of those in that 94. He's been able to jump a couple of spots from the start, actually up from 10th to the 6th position here, working over there the 38 of David Payton. And so you can see he was using that top line we talked about. It seems like, again, with that momentum, it seems like the top side might be where you want to be to make these passes happen. So say he's done a good job of marching his way forward early while the tires are still fresh. Just in front, you got Andrew Pleshy and Gabe Butler, Andrew Pleshy and Ryan Kelly, I should say, in a really good fight here. Say Ryan Kelly, he's brought back the Miami Vice, if you will, paint scheme for that Ciroc car, number 13. So also a really great looking paint scheme. And I believe he had a really good result with that when he ran it last at Homestead. So hopefully he's able to continue that run here as well with that number 13 car. But Andrew Pleshy sneaking away from him just a little bit, closing the gap now to that 50 of Josh Schofner. So right now Andrew Pleshy definitely showing some pretty good speed in the 82. Right now I got the field all of them still about 5 seconds of one another. I'll say, however, things definitely have singled out, which again, kind of expect to see at a track like this, especially with, like I said, with the short field. I think we're going to see drivers kind of just try to get the groove and kind of work for it as they can here. As I say, you see Robbie Richards, you saw him peak just to the inside of that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. Couldn't make anything of it as of yet. But it definitely looks like Robbie's also got some pretty good pace on that 12 car, trying to see if he can take advantage where he gets the opportunity. But right now, everybody right now all about a couple of tenths apart from one another here. But right now, I think kind of the closest group right here is this group right here, the 82 to the 50. And of course, that little group behind, we just saw that last lap by. Actually, now Josh Schofner, he's closed the gap on the 17 of Chad Wilkes. So we got really tight here. Second, third, and fourth positions pretty much right on top of one another now. And I say this is where the difficulty is really going to set in, is how to make these try to make these passes happen. I'm saying what's going to happen for Josh is he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here, because he obviously wants to try to make a move on Chad, but if he doesn't, if he loses that momentum, it's going to open the door for the 82 of Andrew Pleshy to do the exact same thing and try to work him over as well. So far, everybody holding pretty steady here. I said it's going to be just again. Oh, you see a big bobble there by a 12 of Robbie Richards, able to hang on to. But you can see he's stacked up behind him. That's going to shove Kevin Hash into the grass there. It looks like he's going to hang on to it. I think it may have been some contact between himself and James Ledford during that stack up. So, fortunately, it's going to cost Kevin Hash. It looks like 4 spots, so he's going to fall to the back of this group here. However, and with that, it's also split the field up now a little bit. As you can see, Robbie Richards, he's now about a second and a half behind Maxwell Caldwell in the 94 car. So right now we kind of got 2 groups going on here at the moment. So you got about the top 6 all together, and then now you got 7th through 14th and in their own little group here as well. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye, see how the gaps close. But I think that, again, that's just those tires start to warm up, get that right rear hot. It's real easy to get too aggressive on the throttle, and that's one of those things we're going to definitely see more often than not tonight. Larry Yingling, now he's starting to get a little bit of pressure from Chad Wilkes. We saw Chad under a little bit of pressure from Josh Schofner. You see Chad, he's going to dive to the outside. Got in a little bit too hot here, but I think you're going to see kind of almost arcing that turn there. It's a big run out of 4 here, so I think Chad Wilkes definitely trying to find some grooves now, see where he can go. But you can see, I mentioned that middle groove. Say Larry Yingling running right at that, pretty much at that dotted line in 1 and 2. We'll see 3 and 4. If he looks like here, he goes straight to the bottom though. But you can see Chad Wilkes definitely trying to arc this turn here to try to get that momentum on the exit to be able to put a move on that 67 of Larry Yingling. Right to the back bumper Larry. You see Larry had to move to the top. That's going to open the door here for Chad. Chad's going to peek to the inside. Now it's whether or not Chad can get the power down or not. So this is where it gets really tricky here. So say Chad's going to have to fight very hard to try to complete this pass, because you know Larry's going to be fighting hard on the outside. But, I mean, this is what these guys love, though. They want to be able to fight like this side by side. I say you might see a little bit of contact just like that. But I say that's kind of how these races go, a little bit of rubbing here and there. I say both those cars, I'm sure, aren't going to be affected at all by that. I say I'm sure if Larry gets the opportunity, he'll probably try to make the same move back on that 17 of Chad Wilkes. But so I think Chad may have been able to manage those tires just a little bit better there. Those opening 20 laps here, as we're already starting lap 21. So I was saying you can see he's able to build up just a little bit of a gap here over Larry, about a half second or so. So with that, it's brought 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all together here. Now you see the 50 Josh Schofner. He wants to try to make a move here inside of Larry. Like I said, this is now going to be where Andrew Pleshy, he could have an opportunity to try to take advantage of any loss of momentum and try to get around him as well. So say we'll keep an eye, but right now say they're all holding pretty steady position. But I feel like, yeah, I think Andrew here is just looking for that opportunity here to try to make that move on the 50 here. As I say that, I saw Andrew catch the curb a little bit. I think that slowed his momentum, and you see Ryan Kelly, he said no time, took advantage of it. He's going to jump to the top side, so that's going to move Ryan Kelly now up into that 4th position. And I say this might be about where Ryan Kelly, where he's in his wheelhouse with the longer run, get those tires. Again, we talked about him kind of being Mr. Long Run in a lot of these races, so I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that pace of that 13 car, see how he's going as his race continues on. But he might be one to watch as they continue to kind of run laps under green here. So a little further back, still things holding pretty steady. See, everybody's, again, just a couple of tenths apart from one another. Everything holding pretty steady with the group here. See a little bit of rear end damage, I should say, to that 38 of David Payton. I think from that stack, and you see he kind of center punched the rear end, but I think that car's going to be fine. But yeah, say just a little bit of damage, unfortunately, to that 38. But yeah, it shouldn't affect him at all, especially at a track like this. So say right now, so I'll try to take a look at the speeds, but actually we're going to jump back to Larry Yingling, because he is right back to the 17 of Chad Wilkes. And so this is going to be, again, these guys are going to go back after it here, battle for the lead. You see Larry's adjust. I think he's doing exactly what Chad had done, using that arc there in 1 and 2 and able to get big momentum on the exit. However, can't get the power down, so it's going to keep Chad up front for the moment. But you can see Larry definitely starting to move around on the track here. And it's definitely working. He's getting great exits off of turn number 2. He's able to, again, send it deep. This time he dives it into turn number 3. We'll see if he can complete the pass on Chad at the line. is almost a dead heat. I think Larry may have just had it there at the line, but yeah, these guys definitely putting on a really good show here as we're about just over a quarter of a distance done with this race as we're on lap 29 here. So that's going to put Larry back to the point here. So again, I think he saw what Chad was able to do. We talked about maybe Chad saving his tires more, but whatever it was, Larry found an adjustment on his end, and it's definitely worked. He's definitely found a lot more pace in that 67. So right now, these guys all within a couple hundredths really of each other. Right now, lead pack all running in the 19.0s. So yeah, very, very consistent laps from these guys up front. So it's going to take, again, just that little bit extra to kind of find their way forward here. So right now these guys hold third on back, still holding a little steady. Josh Schofner's lost a little bit of gap to the leaders up the top two, but he's also got just enough margin to feel comfortable in front of that 13 of Ryan Kelly. However, Ryan's going to start having a little bit of pressure again from the 82 here of Andrew Pileshi, and then right behind him the 94 Maxwell Caldwell. So these four still all right together. And then again goes 7th on back. Robbie Richards still holding strongly. See just a little bobble off the exit there. He still sits 7th. In 8th is David Payton. In 9th right now, you've got the 81 of Todd Merkel. Same thing. He's right just about where he started here. Gained a couple spots from the beginning. Then you got James Ledford right now rounding out our top 10. And then behind them, Raymond Rittenauer actually, I think the 48 actually just got around him that last time by. And then right now the remainder on the lead lap here, Kyle Hess in the 86. Then you get the 03 who had to do a little bit of an off-track excursion there. Kevin Hash, he's still hanging on to it though. Right with this group, then you got Michael Speltz falling off just a little bit off the back of these guys, but right now we've got pretty much the whole field just within about half a lap here off our lead pack, which I'll say these guys again up front, they're about to start fighting again here. Chad Wilkes now, he's trying to find that momentum to get back after Larry again. So you can see both these drivers just moving around, searching around, figuring out what lap and where. It seems like every lap it's they're trying something different, figure out where maybe a little bit of extra grip is at on these cars. You see now Larry, you're again running more middle. Chad's going to go a lot lower there that time by. Looks like he got a pretty good exit though off there. Didn't lose a lot of time. So definitely these guys trying to find pace. You see Larry running right at the curb. Chad maybe about a half a groove off. So yeah, these drivers all again trying to search around. We saw earlier Larry was running the top side and then just really arcing it down on the exit. So yeah, just it'll be interesting to see. And while we were watching that, actually, Andrew Pileshi, he's gotten around the 13 of Ryan Kelly, and he's starting to close that gap on that number 50 of Josh Schofner. So right now this is battle for the third position between these two here. We've seen Andrew Pileshi he was in this position earlier, so now's where Ryan Kelly was able to take advantage of that when he had a bit of a bobble, sent him back just a little bit, so now he's been able to recover from that and get back after it here. So up front again, you see these drivers moving around just a little bit, and again you see Chad Wilkes starting to close that gap one more time here. So again, these leaders just lap by lap, they kind of trade fast laps with one another here. But right now again, Larry has the edge just with that track position, having the lead here. But again, we're not too far away here, just about 10 more laps here, and we're going to be halfway through this one. So these guys, again, like I said, if this thing stays green, it's going to be quick, and right now these guys have definitely been running clean and green here. So and again, like I mentioned, right now top 6 drivers all still within about 2.5 seconds. Again, a decent gap back to the 12 of Robbie Richards, and then David Payton, though David starting to close the gap on him in that number 38. That's the battle for the 7th position. Again, David's just trying to find somewhere to go to get this pass done, but right now just kind of trapped at the moment here. Looks like Kevin Hash is continuing his recovery drive a little bit there as well. He's able to get around the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, so it moves him back up into the 11th position. You can see the nose damage to that car from that contact he had earlier. So I'll say he's probably one of those drivers, again, probably not affecting him too much, but you never Oh, actually, I say that Raymond Rittenauer got real loose there off of 4 on the throttle, catches the outside wall. I think definitely going to be hurting that right front, but I think, again, no caution comes from that. He should be able to manage that pretty well. It might make that car a little bit tighter, but right now the big issue is going to be just trying to put that throttle down. These things are, I think these cars are definitely starting to drive a little bit more unhappy here. Jump back to our lead battles again, tightening up yet once more. I said that's going to be the other thing is as these guys are starting to battle, they're also catching those cars towards the back of the field, so they're going to have to try to kind of pick and choose where they need to make the passes happen with these cars. But they probably still got about, I would say, 10-15 more laps before they start getting really within distance of them. Because right now it's only about a half a second speed difference between the front group and the guys that are working on being lapped. So everybody's running very, very comparable lap times at the moment. I do need to mention Maxwell Caldwell. Maxwell's gotten around Ryan Kelly as well, so move Maxwell now up into the 5th position in that 94. Say Ryan Kelly not having the long run he'd probably be hoping for here. Falls back into that 6th position. Car looks still clean though, so say we'll keep an eye on. Actually, as I say that Raymond Rittenauer, he's going to hit the pits here, just almost at the halfway point of the race. So he's going to split this one in half and say. Actually, I'm not sure what the fuel window is going to be. I honestly didn't think it would come into play here tonight. So I'll say we'll have to see if and when our leaders might need to start thinking about some pit stops as well. I do not believe they'll be able to go the full 100 lap distance on fuel. Might be closer to that maybe 60 or so lap range. So we'll definitely keep an eye on when leaders start making their pit stop cycles here. But I'll say Raymond Rittenauer being the first to do so. However, again, you're going to lose a lot of time in that pit stop cycle, which right now Raymond is going to be showing 2 laps down as leaders just cross the halfway point in this one. You see David Payne finally able to get underneath Robbie Richards, but here's where you kind of, again, you can get underneath, but Robbie's going to have the traction advantage on that top side. The 38 is going to have to keep it pinned just a little bit more. And so this is where David's going to have to be very patient, and not get too aggressive on the throttle, because this is where you can get yourself in trouble trying to make these passes. So you can see he gets a little bit of a momentum gain in the turns, but then he loses a good chunk of it on the exit as well. I would say, well, Todd Merkel, he's got a nice little view of this fight that they've got going on here for the 8th position. Sorry, 7th position. You see 12 of Robbie Richards able to hold on to that position. So if you're that 38, you start. That's where the frustration really sets in. We're like, you're there, you got to him, you can't complete it, and it just drives you crazy. So we're gonna jump back up front because again the lead battle is starting to tighten once more. Chad Wilkes right to the back bumper of the 67 Larry Yingling, but now they're gonna have to work their way through traffic here at the same time. So we'll hop on board with Chad Wilkes here and see what he can do with Larry Yingling as they start to navigate this lap traffic. You see there, Larry goes to the inside. Chad's going to run that middle groove, see if he can get that exit off, which he does. He gets a great exit here. It's a little tight, has to roll out of it, but you can see, though, he's definitely trying to find that different groove and see if maybe he can put Larry in a bad position here as they go back into turn number, or down the backstretch here, back into turn number 3. And it looks like Michael Spell is going to give these guys a top, as is the 86 Kyle Hess. So, again, just the respect these guys give with one another, it's exactly what you want to see from a racing league. You saw right there, Larry able to actually build a bit of a gap there as he was able to clear the 86 of Kyle Hess, while Chad Wilkes was still stuck to the inside. And actually, as I say, that caution has come out for the first time tonight. It looks like it's the 12 of Robbie Richards. He's back going again. And you have to wonder if that was maybe the racing between him and David Payton, maybe contact between the two of them. So let's go back and see what brought out the yellow. You see, actually, David had gotten around Robbie on the outside, it looks like. Oh, actually, you see right there, the Robbie Richards just caught the curb there while getting on the throttle, and that's just going to upset the car, and it's going to send him around there. You see Todd Merkel having to make some pretty quick evasive action. Great job by Todd to avoid that. Same for James Ledford. And then we see Raymond Rittenauer sneaking around as well there. So Puts us under yellow. And we got some pit stops going on with the lead pack here, so we'll see how the pit stops go. This could be the opportunity for Chad Wilkes to get the lead back. Larry Yingling, though, he's going to get a quick pit stop there, and he's going to be able to hold on to that top spot. I believe the beneficiary of that caution is going to be the 86 of Kyle Hess, who got his lap back the wave around, so he's going to be back on the lead lap. You see Michael Spell, trying to see where he is in the 88 car. Looks like, I believe he's still going to be trapped one down here along with the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, so we'll keep an eye on that side of things as well. You see Raymond, he's staying out here, of course, to get one of those laps back as he had pitted under green there, so he's only going to be about 10 lap older tires than the lead pack here, so won't be in too bad a shape. But yeah, so that's going to bunch the field back up here. And saying I think the driver that's going to probably be the most excited about this is going to be that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. So he started 10th, and he's been able to work his way now up into that 4th position. Looks like he was able to jump Andrew Pleshy during the pit stop cycle as well. So yeah, so I think he's going to be now on that second row. He'll be able to really see if what he can do in kind of against these two that have been kind of dominating this race at the moment, the 67 and the 17 here. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Maxwell. I think he's going to be one that's going to definitely be challenging for at least a top 3 finish here tonight. You see Raymond there gets the wave around, so he's going to get back to just one lap down. So the battle for Lucky Dog is going to be between Michael Spell, Raymond Rittenauer. And the thing is, we're restarting here within 40 to go. We're going to restart with 38 to go at the line. So I'll say, I mean, obviously everybody can make it to the end from here. They still got plenty of tires left in the pits as well, so I think business definitely going to start picking up here. And the other question, of course, is did anybody do maybe some fuel strategy, put just enough to make it to the end, or if some drivers may have filled it up? So we'll have to watch and see what happens here as Raymond's going to lead the field on the restart. He is down and away. Gets a nice little jump over 17 Chad Wilkes on that restart. This is where Maxwell's going to fight very hard to keep that momentum on the top side to clear the 50 of Josh Schofner, so we'll keep an eye on that battle right now. As you see Andrew Pleshy, I think he's going to try to do the same. But you see Maxwell got a little bit tight there in 3 and 4, so I think that's going to give the advantage here to that 50. But as I say that, Maxwell sends it into turn number 1. Does not want to give that 50 room to slide back up to the top of the track there. Oh, you see Todd Merkel up against the wall there. We stay green, however, as this battle for the 3rd position continues on. These guys fighting for everything here. So Andrew Pleshy has a perfect view of us. So we'll hop on the roof cam of the 82 car, and we'll watch this fight here for this 3rd spot. As Andrew Pleshy just tags the left rear of Maxwell Caldwell. It's going to be exactly what Josh Schofner was looking for, as that's going to give him some breathing room. But as I say that, you see Maxwell is going to send it into 1. Couldn't quite do anything with that one yet, but now Andrew's going to try to do the same and start to make a move here again. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two off of turn number 4. Andrew had to get out of the throttle to save that car. It's going to possibly cost him a spot to Ryan Kelly here. And then we mentioned David Payton finally was able to get around the 12 Robbie Richards. Now he's right up in the thick of this one as well. So I think also that caution a big benefit for that 38 of David Payton, probably now able to kind of show the pace that he's had all race as well. It's not a new sight for David Payton to say getting kind of pinned to the inside here, this time with Andrew Pleshy instead of the 12 Robbie Richards. It's actually right there behind him now. Robbie all the way back up into that 8th position here. You see Andrew starting to work over Ryan Kelly as well. So this is where, again, you try to make those moves if you can, take advantage of anybody that loses that little bit of momentum. Try to get to, I think, really it feels like the outside's where you need to try to get your nose to. Keep that car on the inside pinned down to be able to kind of hurt their exit momentum. But right now, again, everybody's able to single up just a little bit here. However, up front, though, again, Chad Wilkes, Larry Yingling, these guys going to continue their fight here for that lead. So they got fresh tires, so now they're going to be going back at it one more time. See these guys again putting on a great fight here right now for the lead. See Chad again moving around, trying to find where he can maybe pick up some additional momentum over Larry. Say he had the nose just inside, but couldn't quite do anything with it. Here, Larry gets a great exit off of turn number 2. Chad's gonna have to kind of claw that gap back just a little bit here. You see Chad entering higher, gonna try to cut it down low and build the exit off. But right now, Larry's doing a great job, even keeping the low line and keeping that momentum on the exit as well. So I'll say right now Chad's going to have his work cut out for him. So it looks like Larry's starting to get in a pretty good groove here, which I'll say unfortunately we all know when he gets into that groove, it's going to be a very tough driver to pass. So you can see he's been able to separate that gap by a couple of car lengths between himself and that 17 of Chad Wilkes. So we're going to jump back from the back now. Maxwell Caldwell. So now he is under heavy pressure from the 13 of Ryan Kelly. See Ryan peeks to the inside, couldn't quite go there. Maxwell's going to close the door. And I say now Andrew Pleshy, he's going to try to go where Ryan is NTC. He's going to jump to the inside of that 13 car. And that's exactly how these races go here at North Wilkesboro. You kind of have to go where that other car isn't. And almost hope they make a little bit of a mistake, a bobble. Actually, as you see Robbie Richards in the background sliding on the exit, it's going to bring the caution out. I think he's going to get away with this. Just a little bit of a slide. Everybody gets around him, so caution's going to come back out. I think that's going to be a big break for the 88 of Michael Spell. That should put Michael back onto the lead lap here. So now here's where strategy is going to start coming in for these drivers. Again, a lot of drivers all have, I believe, 3 more sets of tires in the pits after their first set. There's about 20 laps of this run, so the question is, are tires more important than track position here? So I think you're going to see somebody take a gamble and do the opposite of what the leaders do. So it'll be fun to see what that call is going to be here. And at the moment, I am being completely proven wrong by these drivers. And yeah, I am being completely proven wrong, as all the drivers are going to hit the pit road. So we're going to see 4 tires and fuel for all of our leaders here. Or maybe just 4 tires, maybe no fuel. But it's going to put Michael Spell back onto the lead laps. We're going to have 12 drivers back in the contention here. Unfortunately, it looks like Kyle Hess has retired and Raymond Rittenauer with a lengthy pit stop. And we've got some strategy, though. See a good battle between Raymond and Chad Wilkes there in the exit. But I saw a 2-tire stop from the 82 of Andrew Pleshy. I'm looking forward to seeing how that car is going to like or dislike those 2 tires. But I mean, I like the call though. It's only 20 laps on that run. I feel like the right side tires might be wearing more than the lefts, really, or definitely rights are wearing more than lefts. But depending on how the tire wear, how the car feels as well, those 2 tires might actually be something that, if the car feels a little bit tight for Andrew, those 2 tires might loosen it up a little bit and might help his cause here. And the other thing, of course, is we're going to be restarting this race with under 20 to go. So he's going to now have control of this restart, so he's going to be able to go as soon as he's ready. Of course, he's going to have 2 cars that are going to be very tough to hold off here with that 17 and the 67. But I like the gamble here from Andrew Pleshy. I mean, you might as well, like I said, it's an all-star race where, say, no points involved, so you got some prize money going in. So he was kind of sitting at around that 4th, 5th position, so now he's going to be able to jump up to lead here. And I mean, and even if he doesn't hold on to 1st or 2nd, I mean, if he jumps to 3rd, it's still going to be a net gain for him. So, looking forward to see what this decision for Andrew, how it plays out here in the remaining 20 laps here. Alright, lights are off of the pace truck, so it's going to hand it back over to that 82 of Andrew Pleshy. So I say we'll have to see what his strategy is going to be on this restart here. Again, he has control of when to go, if he's going to try to go early, if he wants to try to go late. Is that he's going to have to try to catch these guys around him a little bit off guard as best he can. So that's going to be his best chance, of course, is to build a gap to make him have to chase him back down. So we're going to see how this restart goes for this number 82 car. As we've seen, it's kind of been the Larry and Chad show this first half of the race. So now it's going to be put Andrew in the mix, and you see gets a great jump here, able to jump to the top there. And you see actually going to kind of keep Larry pinned to the inside here. As Andrew Pleshy going to try to get the power down here and see if he can hold on to this top spot. Chad Wilkes all over the back bumper of Andrew here. Oh, as we got contact in the back, I believe, yeah, caution is going to come back out. It was the 03 Kevin Hash that got sent around there. So I think there was a little bit of contact on entry. Not sure between which drivers. However, we'll be able to go back and take a look. And I think this, again, going to come right into the hands of Andrew Pleshy. Going to be a short restart, or a quick restart there, and be able to save those tires a little bit more and just hold on to that track position. So take a look here at that 03 entering turn number 3. And oh yeah, you see James Ledford on the inside gets a little bit squirrely, has to catch it, gets up into the left rear quarter panel of Kevin Hash. Nothing Kevin can do there, and then unfortunate contact with all spins him around. So they're gonna bring out the third caution for tonight. But he's gonna be able to grab a gear and keep on going, and still is on track here, still on the lead lap as well. So I'll say not sure if he still has a fast repair in pocket or not. I say still see some nose damage to that car, so I don't think he ever got that repaired. So he might be able to actually, if he chooses to get that fast repair and get back, get a clean car again for this remaining, which it looks like it's going to be probably about just over 10 laps to go. We're at 15 to go here this time around. Alright, so I mean, we saw Andrew was able to hold the lead, not with ease, but was able to hold off the 17 and Chad Wilkes there. So he's gonna have to try to figure out a way to do the same. How can he change up what he did on that restart? And the other thing is, again, I mean, I think everything's gonna become just that much more racy on these restarts here. So again, this really could kind of pull into the hands of that 82 car. So it's gonna be really intriguing to see how it all pans out for Andrew here. Because again, the whole cautions breed cautions. It's a thing. I mean, there's a reason why they say it. So we went caution free for over half the race, and so we've had now 3 in the last maybe 30 laps or so. So I mean, it's crunch time. I mean, it's getting down to it. Again, we do have the opportunity for 3 green light checkers, but we're gonna restart this race with 12 laps to go. So it's just. Yeah, I mean, there's no give anymore. Everybody's gonna be taking for everything they have, and so yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see what these guys can do on this restart, and see what that strategy is gonna be for Andrew in this restart as well. All right, so the pace truck's about to jump back in. So again, if you're Andrew, you got to shake it up a little bit, I feel like here. So we'll see what he does. Looks like he's going to wait a little longer. Now he grabs the gear and goes, and he gets a great restart. This actually really helps Larry Yingling out this time around. So now his hope is that if he can get that 17 and 67 to fight one another, maybe he can prevent them from fighting him. So as they come into turn number 2 here, we're going to come around to 11 to go. That's Andrew Pleshy still holding lead over the 67-17. You see Ryan Kelly, he's trying to join this mix as well. And right now, Andrew's holding strong here with those 2 tires in this first lap or so on this restart. And now you see here comes the battle between those 2, the 17-67 for the second spot. Slight contact between the 2 of them. Chad Wilkes has to recover there. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Hold on to the 3rd spot here still, though. As right behind him, though, you got the 13 of Ryan Kelly fighting with the 50 of Josh Schofer. And Josh actually gets a good run out of 2. He's going to start battling now with the 17 car. So I say this is where, if you're Andrew, you're hoping that fight for second was, for second was going to go in a little longer there. But again, still 9 to go here at the line. He still has a bit of a margin over the 67 of Larry Yingling. So we're going to watch from the back view of that 82 car here will watch Larry send it into turn number 3. So now for Andrew, I think what he just needs to do is hit his marks here and try to make sure he gets strong exits here to help his chances against Larry. But Larry is giving it everything he has here. So Andrew just catch the wall a little bit on exit. It shouldn't be enough to hurt anything there. I say now he's just got to have to play a little bit of defense. As I say, that car is around in the back. It's going to be the 12 of Robbie Richards. He has not been the night for him tonight. He's going to be able to loop that car back around and get things going again. I think this is going to put us just outside green, white, checker territory. But again, a huge break, though. I feel like if you're that 82 of Andrew Pleshy, that caution coming out at the best time for you. Take a look here as they enter turn number 3. We'll slow things down a little bit. And so you kind of can see where this is going. It looks like, yeah, James Leffler going to get a little bit deep. I probably didn't expect the 12 to make that arc like he did, but say those two just kind of, again, going for the same real estate there. No intention by anything between those two drivers. Just both drivers going for the same real estate there, and it's going to send the 12 around there. Like I said, not too bad of a shot. Say pretty minimal damage. I feel like obviously some tires worn from that, but should be no problem. He should be able to get back going again. Probably get some service done to that car. And actually, as I say that, he's getting that done now. He's going to be able to just hold the leaders off on this exit as well. So he's going to stay on the lead lap. Kevin Hash is going to hit the pits as well in the 0-3 car. So we're going to still have all of our 12 contenders here that are still left on track in contention here. But yeah, I mean, right now that 2-tire call, Andrew Pleshy, it's looking really good. He's going to have to at least get by 1 more restart, possibly 4 more restarts if we get all 3 attempts over green light checker. You never know. And like I said, though, I think what he's going to have happen here is he needs that 1767 again to get side by side. Needs them to battle with one another and just keep doing what he was doing on that last run, just hitting his marks with near perfection to give him the best chance to try and get this win tonight. So if I'm not mistaken, we should get the 1 to go this time by, which will put us at a restart with 2 to go, which it'll be an unofficial green white checkered finish here if I'm not mistaken. So we'll watch the pace track here, and I'll watch the lap counter as well and see if it changes. But I believe this is going to still be a regulation finish, and yet we get the 1 to go here. So we are going to be restarting on lap number 99. We're going to restart with 2 to go. If they can get to the white flag, that'll be it. They'll run this one to the checkered. However, if a caution comes out before the 1 to go, they'll rack them up, and we'll have, again, up to 3 attempts of a green-white checkered finish. So, again, Andrew Pleshy is going to have to get a great restart here like he did that last time. Again, try to figure out something to do to change it up a little bit here. See if he can grab this win with that 2-tire strategy. So we'll see how he's able to do in this last restart. He goes early. You see, caught Larry just a little bit off guard. Gets a great start here. Now, if he can get those 2 behind him side by side, this might go exactly how he's hoping it. Larry's going to clear Chad Wilkes, so now he's got a lap and a half to try to hold off the 67. Here comes the 17. A big dive into turn number 3. Those 2 going to stay by side. We get the white flag. One more time around here at North Wilkesboro. Right now, 3-car battle for the win here. Andrew Pleshy still holding off Larry Yingling and Chad Wilkes. As they come, you see one spinning in the background, Michael Spell, but this is going to be for the win here right up front. Andrew Pleshy looks like he's going to hang on to. You see the 17 and 67 contact between the 2 of them. And, Chad Wilkes gets the inside wall before he gets the line. Andrew Pleshy going to grab the win over Larry Yingling. Ryan Kelly's going to find his way back up into 3rd after all of that. As he just held off Josh Schofner. But Andrew Pleshy using that 2-tire stop to perfection tonight is going to get the win here tonight at North Wilkesboro. See some of his friends there going over to congratulate him on the win there. As he's going to celebrate here on the front stretch. So while we watch him, I'm going to reload so we can get the driver info that we're looking for. Andrew burns it down through the front stretch. Alright, so you see Andrew Pleshy doing the reverse victory lap here at North Wilkesboro. So you use that strategy to perfection tonight. So we'll talk to at least one driver who's not going to be very happy with, I think, with that second place result tonight. But we're going to start off with Ryan Kelly, who was able to snag one. As Andrew Pleshy going to do a little bit of off-roading as well here, celebrating that win this evening. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and switch over to the 13 of Ryan Kelly here. Alright, let's go ahead and pull in Ryan Kelly. Had to make sure we got the get the right camera angle so we can get the best look at that number 13 with that Ciroc with the Miami Vice paint scheme. So he brought it back out here tonight, Ryan, and so it looked like initially that first run looked like he had some really good long run pace going, so you were starting to work your way forward there, and then just it seemed like maybe the tires or just something got away from you. You just didn't quite have the pace you were looking for. But you're able to recover well there on those last couple of restarts and get some spots back. But ultimately, what was it that felt like just wasn't giving you the kind of the long run pace that we're used to seeing you be able to have tonight?
Yeah, it was tough because I felt like I had good long run pace, but it kept getting really tight when you were behind somebody. So I could kind of get to somebody, but then it would kind of stall me out and be hard to pass. So yeah, it was more about maybe the short runs of the restarts at the end, and yeah, I just got lucky starting on the outside twice there.
Yeah, so that's something too. Is usually, I say, apart from maybe Bristol, say more often than not, feels like the short tracks. Usually, you would think you want to be on the inside line, but say with this package with that high horsepower, lower downforce, it seemed like like you said, the top line is where you wanted to be because you could keep the power down on the exits and kind of keep that guy pinned down where he can't really roll into that throttle all the way there. So while you're battling, was that something you were trying to kind of aim for? Was to maybe try to keep somebody pinned to that inside line to prevent them from being able to get that throttle down, or what was your approach to make those passes?
Yeah, definitely. On the exit of the corner, when you're on the outside, you just get such a good run, and then it gives you the momentum down the back straightaway. So that was probably the place to be when you were under pressure on the outside lane. But I think if you were alone in clean air, the bottom was probably quicker, or at least I was running quicker laps, pinning it to the bottom.
Yeah, it was really interesting. There was a lot of grooves, like I said, kind of some turns one seemed like a lot of drivers would run that middle groove, especially like kind of that first dotted line. 3 and 4, yeah, like you said, I saw a lot of drivers running the middle, but when Chad and Larry were fighting for him, you would see actually they would kind of run almost the third groove, then make a big arc to cut down to get a big exit on, to try to get that speed off the turns there. Was that something you were noticing as well, that you could kind of adjust your lines to get those big runs where you needed to?
Yeah, I was trying to mess with the brake bias a little to maybe see if it would help the car turn or help me into the corner, but I couldn't really figure out which way to go with it. It kind of just felt like it wasn't really changing anything.
Yeah, so it's definitely obviously a very different feel of a track for that kind of for the way these cars race, and especially with this package with the high horsepower and stuff. I think it really, like you said, I think the most critical part is just getting the power down on the exits and not lighting those tires up. What was were you getting worse wear, I guess, on the right front or the right rear? How was the tire wear for you on the right sides?
So in practice, I did both. I did worse on the front one run, worse on the rear, second run. But I think if you could even it out, that's probably where you would be faster. If you can get the same wear on both tires, the front and the rear, it's probably where you'd be the fastest.
Yeah, so always managing that balance. It's always hard to do, but yeah, it makes sense that that's where you would have the pace. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you kept fighting all night long. You're able to, I say, obviously take advantage of that last lap fight between Larry and Chad there for that second spot. Grab I was able to sneak also get around Josh Schofner. So he was running in that top 3-4 all night long. So you're able to make the right moves and, like I said, be in the right lanes when you needed to on those last couple of restarts to grab that third place finish, though. So great job. I think that puts $10 in your pocket as well. So that's always a fun thing to have happen. But yeah, I want to definitely give you the floor, though. Any thanks and shots you'd like to give for that third place tonight?
Yeah, thanks to the teammates and Brandon for running the league, and thanks to you, Agree My Checkered, and nice win to Andrew.
So I look forward to catching you back next week when we're back to some more points racing, and saying, well, I think we'll be seeing what you do best. So yeah, look forward to catching you next week, Ryan. Take it easy, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, so next up we got to grab the 67 of Larry Yingling. Like I said, was right there, just didn't quite have the restarts he was looking for. I'll say so. It was pretty much the Larry and Chad show that first half, 2/3 or so of the race. I say obviously the first pit stop, everybody took 4 tires, and then I was curious if anybody was going to gamble and stay out on about that 20 lap run or so before that run to the end that we had. And then say obviously the one difference being Andrew doing with a 2-tire strategy versus the 4. Did you have any thoughts about doing tire strategy, or did you feel like you had to do 4 tires pretty much no matter what, if you were gonna pit at all?
Yeah, it came across my mind, but I felt like my luck, I'll take the 2 tires and everyone else will be on 4, and I'll just get just ran over, and but Andrew did a good call.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a gamble, which, I mean, let's say All-Star race, I guess that's the time to put those gambles out there. But I mean, yeah, you and Chad, I mean, you guys were putting on a show there the first beginning of the race, and then of course then it was that big fight for the lead, and then it turned into the fight for that second spot to try to kind of get after Andrew there. But I was noticing the big thing with you two is you guys would really adjust your lines to one another, especially when you try to make a pass. How effective was it when I mean, we saw, especially 1 and 2, you would kind of run that top line and really arc it down and get a huge run on the exit. Was that something that was just working for when you try to make some passes, or was that something you felt like maybe you could even make some speed that way, or when you were running on your own, you had to run your regular, kind of like run the white line, if you will, if you're by yourself?
I think definitely both. I believe it's better on your tires to run the bottom. But when I was in front of Chad, I just kept staring at him, what line he would use, and I noticed about maybe halfway through the race, maybe he started to check up a lot in the middle of the corner to diamond off the corner. So I was starting to do that, and I was doing that way up top and getting big runs on Chad. Then it's a shame we didn't really get a good finish, well, for the win at least, when people in the back kept spinning, but yeah, I don't think I was faster than Chad, and Chad was faster than me. I think it was pretty fun.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, it was really a tale of like just every like 20 or so laps. It seemed like you guys would kind of switch to who had the couple, like a tenth or so maybe on the other guy. Like I said, you took off for those first 20 laps, then Chad kind of got back after you, got under you, and I was like, okay, so it looks like maybe Chad saved his tires, has the long run pace, and then here comes Larry, so you come right back and you're able to get the pass back on him. And there was one point after the first pit stop, I think it was, where he got to you, and then it seemed like you found something. Like, I don't know if you got in your groove or what, but I mean, you put almost about a half a second on him in a couple of laps there. Was that just you finding something that worked for you that maybe he didn't have, or was that maybe you felt like you had to start pushing a little harder to protect that spot?
Well, for most of the race, I was trying my best to be faster than him and save tires. But with about 27 to go, I just threw that out the window in the start, giving on my all, and I was starting to pull away, but a caution came out.
Yeah, I'd say the cautions obviously didn't quite fall in your favor, of course, with the strategies, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, if you told me that we were going to have the 4 cautions here at North Wilkesboro and run about, I think it was 60 or so laps under green that first stint, I wouldn't have believed you guys. I mean, you guys, as always, just put on a really good show. Again, I mean, like I said, you guys were just fighting tooth and nail there for that top spot for the longest time. Really hard but clean racing too. A little bit of contact earlier on between the two of you. I'll say that's kind of the nature of North Wilkesboro, I feel like. How tough was it for you to try to make those passes, especially on the bottoms? It seemed like the top was where you wanted to be, but I want to say I saw you get by Chad at one point, at least running that low line.
Yeah, it was a little difficult. I think it was mainly about getting through 1 and 2 better and getting that big run off and being on the bottom in 3 and 4. Is there's like a bump in 3 and 4 in the second line where if you don't hit it right, it messes you up, and you definitely want to be on the bottom.
Yeah, you're right. It did seem like 3 and 4 was definitely kind of more of the bottom feeding preference there. But yeah, like I said, 1 and 2, you could definitely work around and move around a lot more. And that's what we saw you guys do pretty much lap after lap. There was a lot of fun to watch you guys battle there. Like I said, unfortunately, the cautions didn't fall the way you were hoping for, but as always, I say you had an awesome run tonight. It was fun to watch you guys battle out there for the win, of course, and then for kind of being the first to kind of have a shot at Andrew there. If you had those longer runs, I'd say those cautions I think felt just about perfectly for him those last couple of restarts there. So that being said, I say nothing to hang your head on there, Larry. You guys did an awesome job. It was a lot of fun watching you fight for that one. So definitely want to give you the floor though. Any thanks and shouts I'd like to give for that second place tonight?
Definitely my teammates, Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Pleshy. Great win by him. I'm definitely not surprised. Ryan Kelly, Chad Wilkes, Kevin Hashbrown, and Ray Rittenauer for Winston Cup. Shout out my sponsor, Hash Brothers Performance. If you need any work done on your LS engine or GM vehicle near the southwestern Virginia area, contact them on Facebook to see what they can do for you. Thank you for broadcast as always, and definitely looking forward to next race, wherever that's at.
Yes, I'm trying to think where it's at too. So I'm honestly blanking as well. But saying also on the plus side, say it's gonna be say $20 going your way as well. So either maybe towards an LS engine or towards some LS engine service. Hopefully they give you a discount for being a sponsored driver though. So yeah, great job though tonight, Larry. Look forward to catching you again next week. So enjoy the second place though. Say it was well earned, and say look forward to seeing you again here soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that leaves us one driver to go. That is going to be our race winner in that number 82 of Andrew Pleshy. We'll grab him and pull him in. All right, so that last set of pit stops where everybody went ahead and came in, I was like, all right, somebody's going to try 2 tires or something, or sorry, someone's going to stay out here and try some pit strategy, and nobody came in. I was like, okay, well, there goes that idea, but you redeemed me a little bit there, Andrew, with the 2-tire stop, and I wound up being the winning decision there. So, I mean, great call on that one. And I mean, how did it feel on those 2 tires compared to the 4 those last laps?
You hear me? Sorry.
There we go. I got you. I figure you're busy celebrating still.
I hit the button to save the replay now. My whole computer's going to hell. It felt pretty good on old tires, or not on old tires. We only had like 2 or 3 laps. Yeah, the air pressures and they might have been a little hotter on the other side, on the lefts. But it felt honestly, it felt better on the 2 tires for them last few laps than it did for the few laps we ran with 4 fresh ones. I don't know why. I don't know if I changed something with how I was driving it. I was messing with the brake bias all race too, and that might have been part of it. I don't know. But yeah, it felt pretty good. I was nowhere near as fast as them guys behind me, but I just held on for dear life and tried to run away. So
yeah. Yeah, so it worked perfectly. Like I said, I figured somebody was going to try something, but I honestly thought someone would just stay out there. But yeah, when I saw you jump out after the 2-tire stop, I was like, okay, all right, well, there's the strategy call. And like I said, that's where, once you get the lead, obviously you use being the control car on the restarts to your advantage, and then, like I said, just kind of go run off and hide as best you can, of course, like I said, because, Larry and Chad were just on another planet, it seemed like, tonight. It was a lot of fun watching them, but like I said, once you got that lead, the restarts, like I said, you were able to control. You nailed the timings of those to give yourself that little bit of a cushion, and then there's a couple times where they tried to get to you, but it looks like the cautions just seem to fall just at the right time to let you kind of let all the tires cool back off, and you guys be able to get back after getting on those restarts, and you get that restart again and build up that maybe a 10th or 2, just enough to hold them off there at the end. But yeah, I mean, how tense were you on those last couple laps, on those restarts, I should say, trying to keep those guys behind, but at the same time hitting your marks perfectly?
It was hard. I'm really bad under pressure like that. The second restart, I think, was a lot better than the first one. I think I overdrove the car a little bit on the first one, and I just can't. Well, first of all, I couldn't believe that I was the only one that took 2 tires on that, and I was also kind of surprised that people even pit. But so I checked off the left sides, and I was like, all right, if they're going to pit, we're taking 2, and it worked. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't get wrecked. I can't believe I didn't mess up. So yeah, it was very intense. I'm just really bad under pressure.
So you handled it perfectly tonight. And the other thing I was mentioning is that even if, like, let's say even if Larry or Chad or both got around you, I mean, it was still going to be a net gain in the grand scheme of things, because let's say you were kind of pinned in that like 5th or so spot. It was you and Josh and Max. So, I mean, you guys were fighting tooth and nail that whole time. So that was the other thing I was kind of keeping an eye on. I was like, okay, if they get around him, well, you're still, let's say, if you can still grab that 3rd place finish, that's still going to be kind of a net gain to where you were. So was that something you were thinking about as well, or was your mindset pretty much just go for the win all the way?
I didn't even think of it. I just trying to go for broke and win the race. That was about it. I was like, after the first restart, it kind of passed through my head. I was like, well, if they get by me, I could still maybe finish 3rd, but that wasn't the priority.
Wow. So yeah, so you had the right mindset and it paid off tonight. So get in the win here. So like I said, worked the strategy to perfection, able to hold off those two. And that's what it was. There's a few times where they said you gapped them, and they kind of just got focused on battling each other, where it kind of let you look like almost kind of just focus and hit your marks and not have to worry about running like the line they would want to run, and just do your own thing there.
Yeah, I looked on that last restart. I looked in the mirror and seen them side by side, and I was just like, all right, don't mess up. You got this. And they got close a couple times. I think, Larry, there was a couple times where I thought he had me, but he just had to race everybody else, and I got lucky.
No, I mean, it takes a little bit of everything. As that's kind of what we talked about before, is in these races, there's obviously plenty of skill to go around, because it's not very easy to wrangle these cars, especially with this kind of package at North Wilkesboro. Then you got to have the right strategy, and of course a little bit of luck goes a long ways as well. But you kind of perfected all 3 of them tonight to get that win this evening, and that's gonna also help out. It puts $30 in your wallet for that win this evening, which I'm sure is always nice thing to have as well. But yeah, I definitely want to give you the floor though, Andrew, and say, like I said, just a great run. It was fun watching you battle with those guys, and like I said, just try to run and hide as best you could at those last couple of restarts.
Yeah, it was a good race. Thanks to everybody. It was a good, good clean. Nothing crazy. Shout out to my teammates. All them guys. We kind of bashed heads a little bit trying to figure out how to run this place. I learned a lot from Chad earlier. I feel a little bad that he didn't win and I may have stole it, but whatever. And yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to the league for putting it on. Thank you, especially for broadcasting this stuff. I actually made this paint scheme this week. Put a lot of work into that, and I figured I couldn't think of what to put on the back. I was like, I don't want to make it an exact replica, so I threw you guys' logo and whatnot on the back and the Facebook link. So I have to give a shout out to the guys that broadcast it.
Yes, no, definitely appreciate it. So we're still watching you doing your burnouts. So we saw the little bit of the grass slide, but so yeah, it was a great run that you had tonight. It's like you said, well earned, hard fought there. I say back to reality next week. So you got to go back for that top 8 in points battle, see what you can do there. Yeah. But yeah, say for now, I mean, definitely enjoy this one. Say relax a little bit, take a breath. Like you said, I think we joked about it before. I say I don't think AMP exists anymore, so may not be able to crack one of those open. But I think there still are some Diet Mountain Dews out there, so you can find one of those and celebrate that way.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy the diecast car of this paint scheme just to commemorate it. I've always loved this car.
Yeah, it was always a great looking paint scheme, and you see so many times that this is kind of, you'll see a lot of people use that kind of a base on other paint schemes as well. It kind of tells you how good of a paint job that one was. It stuck around for so many people. Yeah, congrats again though.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Thanks again.
No problem. Yeah, enjoy it. Say feel free to rub it in on Larry a little bit, and I'll say give him a hard time, and say enjoy this one.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, that's Andrew Pleshy getting the win here tonight at North Wilkesboro. He said trying to burn that car down to completion there. However, we'll go over our final results for tonight's event. So I say Andrew Pleshy getting the win over Larry Yingling by just about half a second. Ryan Kelly was able to sneak around that the 50, I should say, of Josh Schofner to grab that 3rd spot. Maxwell Caldwell able to hold on to 5th. David Payton recovers all the way to 6th position. James Ledford 7th. Kevin Hash, let's say you see him bounce back up into that 8th position. Todd Merkel 9th. And unfortunately, Chad Wilkes, that spin coming out of 4 drops him all the way back into the top 10, but obviously not to show for the speed he had all night. Him and Larry put just an awesome fight between the two of them all night long. It was a lot of fun to watch that one. Say it's not all lost for Chad. Say he did get there also was that $5 pull award, so he'll have $5 heading towards his pocket. But say obviously not the way he wanted that night to end, but still a great run by him as well tonight. Then you get the remainder of the field here. Robbie Richards, unfortunately, caught up in a couple of incidents. Michael Spell in 12th. We saw him go around on that last lap. And then, unfortunately, Raymond Rittenauer, Kyle Hess retired early in that 13th and 14th positions. But yeah, again, say congrats to Andrew, though. Say getting the win here tonight. Used that 2-tire strategy and, of course, had to have enough pace to hold off those hard-charging 67 and 17 cards of Larry Yingling, Chad Wilkes at the end. So I'll say well earned by him to get the win tonight. A lot of fun to say these guys again. All-star race, 100 laps here. North Wilkesboro only go 4 cautions for 20 laps. I mean that's hard to top in a short track. Usually you get way more than that. So great job by all the drivers here. It's a lot of fun to watch. And I say we'll be back to regular scheduled points racing starting again on Sunday for the Super Speedway Series. Remember, we'll be switching to the Xfinity cars for that one. So the Cup Series. Say with the updates, just hasn't been the racy package that they liked. So going back to the Xfinity cars at iRacing Super Speedway on Sunday, that's going to be a lot of fun to see those guys wheel those things. We saw in the All-Star race. It's going to be a lot of fun to be a part of that one as well. So hope you guys enjoy the All-Star race. Again, congrats to our top 3. Congrats to all the competitors as well. It was a lot of fun to watch. Everybody fought hard there. But in the end, Andrew Pleshy used that 2-tire strategy to perfection and was able to pull off the win this evening. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Happy Friday Eve. And of course, as always, if you can, please try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and until Sunday, have a good night.